Well, so some of the weeds are getting a lot out of control. Head back to the south field now with some water. My dad's back there with the four-wheeler. We're doing 12 feet at a time behind his four-wheeler. And there's no way to get back there. Obviously, you can see there's gravel here. We got a decent lane, but it stops just about halfway through, just over halfway through the woods. And this tractor can get through it no problem, but this is about the only thing I would want to take through all that. I know the elevator isn't going to want to take their sprayer back here till I have the lane done, and I can't wait on the lane to get done to get them to spray, to wait a couple days to go and work it. So we're just going to get it done our own way and make something happen here, I guess. It's nothing new to us. We're always trying to find ways to get around things. Seems to be just about all we do is always trying to find creative solutions to stuff you didn't even know you needed to find a solution to. You know, not trying to hate on the guys who got things established. You know, I hope to pass this down to my kids someday, and that's the ultimate goal, right? But they don't have to deal with some of the messes and issues that we do. And I knew this property was kind of going to be interesting, trying to sort things out when I purchased it. But it's the only property I could purchase, you know, the only one in my price range, and it's the closest one to my house. It's kind of amazing that things work out like that sometimes. But yeah, we're always trying to find creative solutions. It's just for once you kind of wish eventually things will start turning around for you. Just as you start to figure out some solutions to one thing, a whole new mess of problems come about. You know, this will be our fourth hay season. You know, we kind of have some of our hay equipment figured out. We buy new stuff, and then we have issues with that. And then you got to figure out new solutions to problems you didn't know about or knew even existed a couple years ago. And we're slowly getting the hay producing side of things, where I think we're pretty skilled. I wouldn't say we're the best by any means, and we still have a lot of things we can learn and improve upon, but we're definitely getting to the point where I feel like we know what we're doing. You know, people can respect us a little bit and understand that we're going to get the job done, and we do a good job, and we handle a large amount of acres, you know. But when it comes to actual land ownership, you know, what we're doing now is a whole new ball game, new ball of wax. We have a lot to learn, and you got to learn it quick. So yeah, like I said, there's no way they're getting a sprayer through that portion of the lane. Hopefully by the end of this week we'll have the lane done, and I can just shoot down here with the truck and I can check fields once we get it planted. But a boy can dream. So there's our water tote. My dad's out there on the four-wheeler. We're gonna do what we can. You see that field, a lot cleaner. I think we're just gonna disc it, plant right into it. Crossover looks beautiful today. Well, spraying's all done. At least we think it is. It's going to be good enough for who it's for, and that's me, unfortunately. You can't see here behind me. We're going out and start hauling manure again. I think we're going to try and do some disking once we get all this hauled, and I think we're finally able to drive to and from the field back to the house without unhooking the spreader and cleaning tires at the road. There's enough gravel here to get the mud off, and what tracks we do have further up in the lane, not a lot of that mud sticking. It's more just like sloppy, just water, and it just kind of slides right off the tires even before you get to some of the gravel. So I think we're gonna be able to make trips going down the road, which is gonna be really nice because it is slow. Oh, it's really slow going when you have to unhook the spreader every load, pull the PTO shaft, clean the tires, hook it up to a truck, drive it home. Granted, we're only half mile from home, but it takes more time to just switch it over to a truck than it does to actually haul a load, which you'll see when we get out there. It's probably only less than a minute to haul it. As small as this spreader is, I don't know how much horsepower it needs, but I know how much I'm using. I guess it's better to be looking at horsepower than looking for it, but this is a cheap spreader. We don't have enough manure to justify anything bigger, and I didn't feel like bringing my old tractor out here to do it. Like that 2105 white, 105 horse, this is 134. That tractor would maybe be a better suit. Heck, I could probably come out here with my old Oliver 1750 if I still had it, or the Super 77, and it'd be perfectly fine for that too. But we no longer have those tractors. The road speed just couldn't keep up with the distance we were traveling to some of our fields. Kind of sad to see them go, but I do like air conditioning. So maybe one day when we just have lots of money, I might buy a couple more Olivers just to put in the barn. Got to build a barn first though. All little things, right? Well, last load of manure. This is load 8 for the day. We've hauled, I think it's 12 loads of manure on this field. Probably can't see a whole lot in the video. We're gonna try and hook up the disc and get that back here. I know we'll have to throw the chainsaw in the bucket. I have no idea how tight it's gonna be around some of them stumps, but I think it's gonna come pretty close on a few of them. I just don't know if I want to make the time to do it tonight or postpone that till tomorrow until we need to get the cultipacker through, and then I might just take off work Tuesday, try to beat some rain and get some stuff done. But fingers crossed we get this seed in the ground here before the rain and I can stop worrying about it. Well, that's not ideal. I got the shaft pulled out, snapped right there. This really sucks. It was going pretty good. Oh yeah, and there's how we got back here. I don't know how many of y'all got to carry chainsaws, shovels, and pipe wrenches and all sorts of other crap just to make sure you get back to your field. I know there's where our house is. I know I want to keep the case back here with a chain just in case that white gets stuck trying to get back here because the drive isn't done yet and I don't have the patience to wait on it. We got to get seed in the ground. Time to get after it. I have no idea what today is going to bring. I worked a little bit this morning at the township mowing roadsides. Like I said, I have a plan of what I'd like to see get done today. No clue if any of it's actually going to happen. All I know is I'm going to go try discing this now, waiting on the tractor to warm up. And we'll see if the good Lord graces us with an opportunity to get some seed in the ground tonight. I don't know. I really don't know what we're going to be walking into. I'll keep you along for the ride. And we got a half-inch of rain coming tomorrow. It was saying late at evening it'd start, but now they're pushing it up to like noon, 10 in the morning. Realistically starting around maybe noon to 1 o'clock. So I'm hoping I can work this a couple times with the disc, cultipack it, plant this, disc that field. It's been at least 24 hours. By the time I get all this done, it'll be over 24 hours since I sprayed Roundup on that. I'd like to see 3 days on it, 72 hours. Ain't gonna happen if we try to beat this rain, because I want it in the ground before the rain so the stuff can get going. We're not planting it 2-3 inches deep like corn and beans where you got some of that moisture. We're planting it right in that top 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch of soil. It's gonna dry out, and if we don't get some rain, it ain't gonna come up. So I'm hoping if we can get it in before this rain, we'll get it germinated, we'll get it growing. And if it does turn dry, at least it's up and growing. It can try to get down to that 2 to 3 inch where there might be some moisture, like these corn and bean guys where they're already kind of tapping into that. And these small seeds don't have that energy to push up through 2 inches of dirt. So yeah, hopefully we can get something done. Ain't that a beautiful sight? We got more done last night than I thought. So what ended up happening is, one of the gang bolts, I'll show you over here, end up snapping clean in half, like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I end up doing, it's just a square bolt that goes all the way through that whole gang, and it snapped somewhere around right here or right there. And so I just kind of beveled it down at like 30s, kept a little bit of the core of it on there, and then just welded the crap out of it. And we got all of this worked because it broke within like the first 100 feet or so. So let's see a little bit of how this thing's working. You can see that's what we disked, cultipacked. There's a little bit of a difference there. It's getting us some nice fines. As you get into here, there's still some of that, but then you get big clods. And over here, you still have a few. But all in all, I think this is looking good. I might hit it a second time at a different angle though. Well, we're cruising right along. 5.4 mile an hour. That's a nice seed bed right there. I don't know how much you pick up in the glare. Makes a heck of a difference. This tool's doing a good job. So it's about 6 in the morning or so. The sun's just coming up. I started disking this field last night about sunset. And I'm still out here, I guess. But I was gonna disc this 22 acres here twice, at 2 different angles. I got most of it disked a second time. I did disk the whole thing once, and then I started around that second pass, got it halfway done. It was like 3 in the morning, and I said, I'm running out of time. I need to finish cold packing the north field. And you may ask why I didn't finish cold packing that first. Well, I wanted to come into this field before sunset to do my property lines, because it's planted on that side, and I just wanted to do that in the daylight. And so since I already had the disc, I just disked all this, hooked up to this cultipacker about 3:30 in the morning or so. Finished the north field. That's like 19 acres. That's going to go to grass. That's all cold packed now. I'm on my first pass of this field, and I'll get done what I can. Once the sun comes up a little bit more here, I'm going to bring the drill out, probably start on that, and then have my wife take over on this. And hopefully we'll get some sleep after this is all wrapped up. The rain's coming in. I just want to get some seed in the ground and be done. Some of my plans keep changing, but beggars can't be choosers. I really want to get this seed in the ground before the rain. I think it's going to be the best for the crop long term. You know, yeah, I could wait after the rain. They're talking a ½ inch or so. Let it dry back out, then do it then. But my concern with that is I don't know when the next rain's going to be. This is a good ½ inch soaker over a couple days. This to get the hay up and going, and then it'd have a nice root going. So it can withstand some drier weather, where if I maybe plant it later and we do get that drier weather we normally see in the summertime, may not amount to much. And it still may not here. I have no idea what we're going to be walking into this summer. But hay is something you normally want to get in earlier. Last year it was really late also. Another wet spring, I think May 24th. I think that sounds right. I think it's the 19th right now, something like that. So we're about 4 or 5 days ahead of last year when we planted hay, and last year's stand looked really good. But also, like last year, I was kind of disappointed with how things got done. Not really anyone's fault in particular. You know, it was a really hard ground, Paulding clay. This is not. This is a little bit nicer. You can get on this a little bit sooner. We're trying to navigate that, borrowing tillage tools, so understanding how to set those up and fighting some of the issues with that. Like the disc would just skid across the top, not even drop in. The field cultivator, the stops weren't set right, so it just randomly bury itself. So we had some stuff. We had a lot of issues, but man, do we have a beautiful stand in that field now. And you know, who cares how the process goes as long as the end product turns out nice. It's disappointing in the moment when you kind of had these expectations of how you want to do things, and nothing really goes to plan. But I guess that's farming. That's life for you. You take what you get, and you run with it, right? You know, we'll see. Catch y'all here in a bit when we get the drill out then. Well, this is where things get interesting. Still have some gravel up to that point. Then it gets muddy. And that's a 2-wheel drive. Technically 4 if you count 2 on each side. So there's some tight areas in there, and this thing's, I'm guessing, pretty heavy. I think she'll make it. Well, my wife's backing down here with the seed right now. She's just gonna back up to where the good gravel ends, somewhere in this area. And no, we're not filling before we take it back. I don't want any more weight in that drill than we need to. I know that the case can get up here no problem with front wheel assist. So we'll just load bags of seed into the bucket of the case and then take that out to the field and load the drill once we get through the woods. So we'll see how things go, but we're trying to do everything we can in our power to make sure we get through this until we can get our lane properly finished. But as you can see, we're making progress. It all takes time. It's frustrating that things kind of played out the way they did, but I think given the resources we have, we've done a pretty good job. almost got something done today. I think disappointed is an understatement.